Believing in yourself is not just a phrase people casually use. It is a lifelong journey, a personal evolution, a continuous unfolding of your hidden potential. Most people misunderstand self-belief as a sudden burst of confidence, something that appears magically and never leaves. But in truth, believing in yourself is like nurturing a seed. It starts small, almost invisible, but with patience, care, and persistence, it grows into something strong enough to weather storms and stand tall even when the world seems to push against it. At the beginning of this journey, many people feel uncertain, doubtful, and sometimes even afraid. They look at others and think, maybe confidence belongs to them, not me. But the truth is, every person you admire, every person who achieved greatness, every person who seemed unshakable at some point in life, once walked through the exact same doubts, fears, and internal battles you may feel today. What separates those who succeed from those who remain stuck is not talent, not luck, not background. It is the willingness to believe, even when belief feels fragile. Believing in yourself starts with acknowledging your worth, even when you can't fully see it. It begins with recognizing that your past, your failures, your flaws, your rejections, your mistakes, none of them define your future. They are chapters of your story, not the end of it. Self-belief grows when you slowly shift from thinking I can't to maybe I can, and eventually to of course I can. This transformation rarely happens overnight. It happens slowly, through tiny decisions, small victories, and moments when you choose to keep going despite doubt pulling you backward. There are times in life when everything feels stuck. You feel like you are working hard but not progressing. You see other people moving ahead, achieving milestones, changing their lives, and you wonder if something is wrong with you. You question your ability, your intelligence, your purpose. In these moments, self-belief becomes your anchor. It tells you that progress is not always visible, that growth is happening even when you cannot feel it, that the struggle you experience is actually shaping the stronger version of you. Believing in yourself does not mean you will never feel fear again. Fear is natural, it is part of being human. Self-belief simply means you no longer let fear control your decisions. You learn to walk forward with fear instead of allowing it to freeze you. It means you understand that courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to act anyway. Many people are discouraged not because they lack ability, but because they have been taught to underestimate themselves. Maybe it was a teacher who said you wouldn't amount to anything, or a family member who constantly criticized you, or a friend who made you feel inferior. Sometimes these voices stick with us for years, becoming part of our internal dialogue. Believing in yourself means replacing those old voices with new ones, voices that support you, encourage you, remind you of your strengths, and push you gently forward. This change does not happen instantly. You may hear the old voices again and again. But every time you choose to speak to yourself with kindness instead of cruelty, with hope instead of hopelessness, you strengthen your inner foundation. There is a moment in every person's life when self-belief is tested. Maybe you start a new job and feel like you don't belong. Maybe you try something creative, only to have someone laugh at your efforts. Maybe you dream of building something big but the world around you tells you to stay small. In these moments, you stand at a crossroads. One path leads to giving up, shrinking back, and living safely within limits. The other path leads to growth, self-discovery, transformation. Self-belief is the compass that directs you toward the second path. Believing in yourself is not arrogance. Arrogance says, "I'm better than everyone." Self-belief says, I am capable, I am growing, I am learning, and I am enough. Self-belief is humble. It allows you to accept your flaws without feeling ashamed of them. It gives you permission to try new things without demanding perfection. It sees failure not as proof that you are incapable, but as evidence that you are trying, learning, evolving. Every successful person you see today has failed countless times. But they still moved forward, because they believed there was something in them worth fighting for. At some point, you will face setbacks that shake your confidence. Maybe you invest time into something, and it doesn't work out. Maybe you open your heart to someone, and they don't value you. Maybe you work hard toward a goal and still fall short. These moments hurt deeply. They make you question everything. But this is exactly where belief becomes the most powerful. When you tell yourself, even though this didn't work, I am not a failure. Even though someone didn't choose me, I am still worthy. Even though I fell, I can rise again. This is the voice of self-belief. This is the voice that separates people who eventually succeed from those who give up too early. Believing in yourself also requires patience. We live in a world that glorifies overnight success, instant results, and quick transformations. But the reality is, meaningful change takes time. You cannot expect to undo years of doubt within a few days of motivation. You cannot expect to feel confident every single moment. Some days, you will feel strong and inspired. Other days, you may feel tired, confused, or discouraged. This is normal. The key is consistency, not perfection. Self-belief strengthens when you keep showing up for yourself, even on days when motivation feels distant. It grows when you take small steps, build small habits, and make small improvements. Over time, these small actions compound into something powerful. The relationship you have with yourself is the foundation for everything else in life. If you constantly criticize yourself, compare yourself to others, or doubt your worth, you limit your potential. But if you nurture a kind relationship with yourself, you give yourself space to grow. This kindness does not make you weak, it makes you unstoppable. When you believe in yourself, you stop chasing validation from others. You stop living according to their expectations. You stop allowing their opinions to control your decisions. Instead, you learn to trust your intuition, your values, your purpose. You learn to decide based on what feels right for you, not what others expect from you. This inner freedom allows you to take risks, explore new paths, and build a life that feels authentic. No matter where you come from, no matter what you have been through, no matter how many times you have failed, self-belief gives you the power to rewrite your story. You are not defined by your past. You are defined by the choices you make today. Self-belief turns I wish into I will. It turns someday into today. It turns I hope into I am creating. Every great achievement begins with a single moment where someone chose to believe they could do, even when the odds were against them. Self-belief is also fueled by self-awareness. You cannot believe in yourself if you do not know who you are. Take time to understand your strengths, your passions, your desires, your patterns. Reflect on what brings you joy and what drains your energy. Pay attention to the moments when you felt proud and the moments when you felt disappointed. This awareness helps you build your confidence on a strong foundation. It allows you to step into the version of yourself you have always wanted to become. When you begin believing in yourself, your energy changes. You start walking differently, talking differently, thinking differently. You no longer sit quietly in the back, you step forward. You no longer avoid opportunities, you explore them. You no longer doubt every decision, you trust your progress. People begin to notice this shift. Some will applaud your growth, others may feel threatened by it. But your journey is not about their comfort, it is about your purpose. Do not shrink just to make others comfortable. Do not dim your inner light just because someone else struggles to shine. Your growth is not a problem, it is an inspiration. Believing in yourself also means setting boundaries. You protect your energy, your peace, your dreams. You stop allowing people who constantly criticize, belittle, or discourage you to have influence over your life. You choose relationships that uplift you, environments that inspire you, and habits that support your goals. Self-belief thrives in healthy environments. Surround yourself with people who remind you of your value, not those who make you forget it. There will always be moments when you feel overwhelmed. Life is unpredictable, and sometimes it throws challenges at you that feel too heavy to carry. In these moments, remind yourself that you have survived every difficult day of your life. You have endured pain, heartbreak, disappointment, and still you are here. That is proof of your strength. That is proof that you can handle more than you think. Believing in yourself does not mean pretending everything is easy, it means trusting that you can handle the difficult. Confidence grows through action. The more you try, the more you learn. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you expand. The more you practice, the more skilled you become. Taking action, even imperfect action, is the fuel for self-belief. If you wait until you feel fully confident before starting, you will wait forever. Confidence comes from doing, not dreaming. Your journey is unique. Do not waste your energy comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Everyone's timing is different. Some people rise quickly, others rise slowly. Some people discover their passion early, others discover it later in life. What matters is that you keep moving, keep growing, keep believing. The world needs your voice, your creativity, your ideas, your perspective. There is something inside you that no one else has. When you believe in yourself, you give the world access to that unique gift. You contribute in a way only you can. You become a source of inspiration, motivation, and strength for those around you. Self-belief is a journey, not a destination. You will have good days and bad days. You will feel confident sometimes and insecure other times.